The best thing I ever did during my journey was see a psychologist.
G'day, I'm Joel. I'm a personal trainer from Bondi Beach, Australia. And in March 2020, I had a tumour removed from my brain. I created this YouTube channel to bring motivation, support, and insights to anyone going through a brain surgery journey of their own. I would love to help as many patients and their families as possible. If what I am saying is helpful, please like and subscribe.
Guys, welcome back, warriors. In this video, we are going to discuss brain surgery and anxiety and how it could all be in your head and how you never want to hear that, but it could be honestly true. So this question was asked in the comments below by Catherine, who is part of our warrior community. And the three topics we are going to cover today are how physical symptoms can actually be a sign of anxiety. Number two, why I took 3 months off work. And then number three is things I do each day to live with my anxiety in the best way possible. So guys, let's go on point number one. And this is something you never ever want to hear, but it could all be in your head, right? You never think that physical symptoms that you feel in your body could be nausea in your stomach, it could be headaches in your head, could be dizziness, could ever be psychological, like anxiety. And just so you guys know, this actually happened to me, and the best thing that ever happened to me was seeing a psychologist. So to give you a bit of a background, I first started getting really dizzy in 2013, and then in 2015 I went for an MRI of the brain, and that's when we found a lesion. But no surgeon I went to see could tell me exactly what the lesion was. So as you can imagine, I'm living life worrying about the fact that there's something in my brain that could potentially or could potentially not kill me. So my anxiety levels were very, very high. And as most of you do, I'm sure I've all done this before, we get on our phones and we turn into Dr. Google, and we could all probably get bachelors of, Dr. Googles. The amount of rabbit holes and websites and diets and this, that, and precautions and treatments we all go down to try and improve our health. That spiraling and that overthinking and that ruminating constantly actually can lead to even exacerbating and making your anxiety even worse. So I got to the stage after knowing I had a lesion in my head. I would wake up every day. I would Google diets to get rid of brain tumors. I would see if I was allergic to things. I would look into protocols and procedures. I was going from naturopath to surgeon to specialist to naturopath to try and work out what was going on with me. Why was I dizzy every day? Why was I so fatigued? I went down the chronic fatigue pathway. And it was just by a complete chance and by accident that I went to see a GP to get a referral to then see another naturopath. And the GP that I was meant to go see was sick. So I saw this random GP, this Scottish bloke, he was my age. And he's like, Joel, what can I help you with? And I'm sitting there in the consult and I'm going, look, I'm currently been off work for about 2.5 months. I'm constantly dizzy. I'm always fatigued. And I'm always trying to figure out what's going on. I'm really worried about, will I ever go back to work again? And if I do go back to work, will I be able to do the duties I used to do? Will I be the same person? He said, whoa, Joel, slow down. He goes, can you hear yourself? I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, you're rattling off all these symptoms and these fears and these worries. He goes, you're about to give me a panic attack. I don't know how you're not having panic attacks. I think you have a generalized anxiety disorder. You're constantly worried about worrying. You're constantly Googling symptoms. And a lot of you guys that I've talked to in the comments of my YouTube videos have the same things. You're worrying about, oh, I have a headache today that wasn't there yesterday. Since my brain surgery, my vision at night has diminished. And we're constantly worried whenever something in our head or our tummy feels a little bit off, we constantly worry about it. We then jump on our phones and try and Google what it means, and we can get in a vicious spiral of catastrophizing and ruminating. And this GP, he goes, "Look, Joel, I want to send you to a psychologist." In my head, I'm like, how on earth is something I'm thinking giving me dizziness, fatigue, and nausea? I'm like, these are real physical symptoms. How can something psychological be giving me that? And he goes, "Look, trust me, I want you to go see a psychologist, do 5 sessions, and see how you feel." So I thought, why not? I'm going to see this naturopath and that specialist and this surgeon. I might as well chuck a psychologist in the mix as well. And I'm sure you guys have done so in your journeys also. I went to see the psychologist, and I was trying to not be skeptical, but I'm like, how is this going to help? And she taught me some basic tools, but essentially what she taught me was, if we're constantly focusing on worries, we will constantly worry, and we'll stay in a loop of worry and worry and worry. We'll then train our brains anytime that we get a headache or a little lull in our stomach where we get nervous butterflies, we automatically associate that with something negative. And she's like, that's not always the case. I know you've got your worries about the brain tumor that potentially is or isn't growing in your brain, but let's just for now start to get you out of the loop of worrying. And she started getting me onto meditation and mindfulness. And we'll get more on that later in the video. But it was a life changer for me and a massive, massive game changer. Long story short, after being off work for 2.5 months, after 2 weeks of doing meditation and mindfulness, I felt a weight of the world off my shoulder. I felt the brain fog clear, and I kind of had clarity and peace of mind, and I wasn't panicked and worried and ruminating all the time. And I actually went back to work, which was great because, yeah, obviously you got to earn a living. I also wanted the satisfaction of, conquering whatever it was that was holding me at home. And yeah, for 2.5 months, I was literally laying in bed all day and on the couch, really, really dizzy and really, really panicking, just Googling symptoms. It was absolutely horrible, day after day after day. My partner at the time, it caused a bit of friction between us because she's like, you're going to earn money, you got to go back to your job, you can't not work forever. But yeah, eventually, long story short, we got back there, and I'll tell you what I did to get out of that funk, that 3-month funk, later in the video. So point number 2, guys, and I guess I kind of alluded to it then. So yeah, my anxiety and panic and worry was so bad, I took 3 months off work. I'm a personal trainer, for those of you that don't know. So every day I worked in a gym, I was training clients, I was running classes, I was leading a team of other PTs, I was actually the manager. So I was designing timetables, designing rosters, doing payroll, a lot of stuff, a lot of admin. And yeah, one morning, I woke up and my dizziness was super, super, super severe. And in my head, I just kept telling myself it was so bad, I couldn't go back to work, And I'm sure you guys have had symptoms and, physical feelings that have made you feel really, really off. And yeah, mine was so bad. I remember on the Friday, I went to a specialist to get some allergy testing because I was so panicked and worrying about all my symptoms. I'm like, surely I'm allergic to something. That's why I'm feeling this way. So I got the allergy test done, and then I went home that night, and I woke up the next morning, and I was just so dizzy and tired. And I'm like, well, what's going on here? I thought something's wrong. As it turns out, I'm not allergic to anything. I'm allergic to dust mites, of all things. But yeah, my 3 months off, I was trying to find the answer and the cure. And like, lo and behold, there is no answer. There is no cure. This constant looking for an answer, looking for a cure, just made me ruminate. And I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a surgeon, but that over worrying and that over panicking just puts you into this cycle of worry and panic. And then I just talked myself into, I'm not well enough to go to work because all my physical symptoms felt absolutely horrible. So guys, we come to point number 3 now. So I'm feeling horrible, I'm dizzy, I'm fatigued, I'm nauseous, I'm worrying about everything, I'm panicked. I haven't gone to work for 2.5 months. I've then randomly seen this random GP, and he's told me to go see this psychologist. The thing she taught me in a nutshell was to meditate and meditate often. When you're meditating, you're constantly focusing on your breathing or another signal or something else. It could be music, it could be rain, it could be waves in the ocean. The thing that really works for me, I will just focus on my breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. When I'm focused on my breathing, I'm not focused on worrying about all my physical symptoms and Googling what diet I should do to get rid of these symptoms, what I'm allergic to. When you're focused on your breathing, it distracts you from your worrying and your to-do list and worrying about the past and worrying about the future. And after 2 weeks of meditating every day, I started to get my head out of that fog and out of that funk and back into not panicking and not worrying. And I taught myself that if I did get a lurch in my tummy, or if I did start to feel dizzy, it kind of is what it is. It's probably from a tumor or being dehydrated for another reason. There doesn't have to be a cure right now, but not to worry about it. Just to take a few deep breaths, breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and then hold that for 4 seconds. And every time I did this, I got my brain out of the loop of panic and worry. And I started to just feel a bit more level and a bit more normal. I could go back to work and I could live a normal life and I could have a social life. My partner at times would be happier because I was working and I was functioning. There was light at the end of the tunnel. Because imagine how bad it would have been for her coming home every day to see your partner lying on the bed all day, literally Googling and worrying about every single thing you can imagine. So yeah, that was a very hectic time. But I know a lot of you in my comments, Joel, I've got dizziness. Joel, I've got headaches. Joel, I've got this. Joel, I've got that. It could be a brain tumor, and that's probably why you're on my channel, but it could be 1,000 other things. It could be dehydration. It could be vitamin deficiencies. It could be what the whole point of this video is. You could have an anxiety disorder. You could have trained your brain to worry and worry and worry and worry yourself into a hole. And promise me, when the GP said that my physical symptoms were manifesting from anxiety, I thought he was crazy. I'm like, no way. These are physical symptoms. I can feel them. Something else must be causing them. But I want to tell you guys in the community, and those of you who have health anxiety and are worrying about their health all the time, trust me, it actually can be in your head and it can be anxiety. And I highly recommend, for any of you viewers in Australia, you can actually get, I think it's 6 free psychology visits through Medicare. For those of you in the UK, the US, and India, and Brazil, and other areas of the world that watch my videos, I'm not sure what you guys can get through your governments and your healthcare, but please look into it. But yeah, I just want to wrap up the video by saying, if you are having these physical symptoms that are really making you debilitated and catastrophizing and you don't want to go to work, please just go see a psychologist. It can be the best thing that ever happened to you. It was honestly the best thing that has ever happened to me. And that GP I went and seen, his name is Dr. Kerr, and he's now my regular GP. I trust him with everything. He changed my life. He got me to go back to work. I was off work for 3 months. Anyway, Dr. Kerr, I know you're not watching, but if you ever do, massive thanks and shout out to you. You changed my life forever, and I've told you that 1,000 times. Warriors, anyone that's about to have a treatment, chemo, radiation, a surgery, or getting MRI results, I wish you nothing but the best. Good luck, and I'm sending positive vibes. All right, guys, I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace.